September is rolling on by, and here we are on the 22nd. We finally have, I think, real fall here. There's that meme going around that I talked about last time. And we had a really warm week, and then the thunderstorms came and the wind came, and here we are, a beautiful sunny day, but it's only in the 50s. This is more like the weather that Michigan has in September. Unfortunately, I saw on the internet that some of my online friends in Canada have got snow, which means that it will be headed our way before too long. Hopefully, we will have an extended period of sunshine and brilliant color. They are expecting the leaves to have their peak color in about mid-October, and I think that's probably on track, even though we start seeing some color on the trees in August, mid-August this year. It hasn't progressed because it got really hot. Well, September has been a time of renewal and the new year for me. When school starts, even though I don't have children at home, it turns into a new year. So I've been filling up my planner with all kinds of things. My sister and I are getting ready to launch our zine, Our Creative Souls, probably mid-October. I've been playing around with Microsoft Publisher, and it's really been fun. And I think that you do the best you can with the knowledge you have the first time around, and I will keep building on it. Been doing a lot of research and chatting with some of my friends about taking photos for the zine and trying different experiments in lighting, and just really finding that it's been an interesting thing to do. You know, something happens when you quit going to school. And I'm just one of these people that's very curious. And I'm always wanting to learn. And I thought quilting is great. And I've accomplished a lot of things. And I still love quilting. And I'm still long-arming for other people. Don't get me wrong. You don't think that I'm not doing those things. I am. But I miss the days of Carol Duvall and all of the DIY crafty shows on cable television in the 90s, and I miss all of the little magazines. They were little. They were probably 4 inches by 4 inches, Work Basket magazine. Are any of you old enough to remember those? I liked them. My grandmother's got them, and I bought a few before they quit publishing because they had tatting patterns in them. And I like the tatting, and I like the fact that all of the projects in their magazines were things that people of all skill levels could try to see if they liked the project, liked the craft, and then if you wanted to get into it more, you could. What's been fabulous for me is, believe it or not, all of the little shops that sold crafting things in my town went out of business. And recently, Hobby Lobby came to town in the last few years, and it's been this huge opening of opportunity for me to craft. Now, I had to go to Joann's, was about 42 miles, and when I worked in the town that the Joann's was in, I had some opportunity, but it wasn't like during my lunch hour I had a lot of time to shop and to look for different products. Now I do. I can go in and look for one thing, and it's not too far from me. It's been great. And I've rediscovered macrame. I've been doing a lot of macrame things and writing up some patterns for the zine on 2 macrame projects. And I feel like I've just been able to tap into an area that I haven't been able to tap into in a while, and that's being really creative, which also is helping me with my quilting and my pattern designing for quilts and long arm quilting. How can you pick one favorite thing to do? Quilting, I do spend most of my time there, but I really enjoy doing other things too. And now that I'm empty nest, and I have been for a couple years, I need to fill up my time, especially in the winter, because winter is coming. Oh yes, the old quote from the Game of Thrones. Winter's coming, and winter comes, traveling doesn't go as much, and I'm home more watching football and doing all kinds of crafty things. So for my personal projects, I am working on a cotton knit shawl. It is the easiest triangle shawl ever. It is from the One Skein Wonder book and really is going well. I have kits for 2 more shawls. One is little thinner, lacier shawl. I've never tried anything like that. And the other one is called a capelet or capelet. I'm not sure how you say that, but it's my favorite peacock teals and greens. I had needles with it and a pattern, so I'm going to probably cast that one on next because it's more of a textured yarn and it will be absolutely lovely. But I'm not even going to get that out and start touching the yarn and reading the pattern until I'm done with this purple shawl. I need a fidget, and I've talked about that on the podcast before, but I need a fidget. Something that's easy for me to pick up and put down, something that I can do in the evening when I'm watching television after dinner and winding down. I like handwork things. I have even been toying with EPP, English paper piecing, maybe 1 or 2 hexagons. Yes, maybe. And I have some things coming in the mail, which I will share about when they get here. So my fidgets, and I'm finding that I need to step away from the sewing machine because I've got to get my body moving, and I can't sit in the chair. The chair that I currently podcast in is the chair that my sewing machine is right here with all my stuff. And, you know, you just got to get up and move. You can't just sit too much. And I sit all day at my job, and I'm trying a standing up cart, but it's just not hooked up to the big screens. So I have a little tiny screen on there, and I'm using it more for standing up and doing other types of things with my job, like when I'm doing assessments and things. So that is the handwork. I'm working on long arming a couple customer quilts. It's the fall, it's exciting times, people are motivated. I had a little lull this summer, which was fine because it was around the wedding time and I needed a break. But I have been given 4 or 5 more quilts to work on already. Christmas rush hasn't even started, and I've been long arming every day and getting back in the swing of it. I have one on my modern row quilt that I want to long arm for myself in between customer quilts because I really hope that that can make it into QuiltCon. I will be disappointed if it doesn't make it in, but if it doesn't, you just have to understand that it's not personal. Maybe your project didn't fit the curated look they were going for in the show. But that's the quilting. I have pieced the top for the last magazine pattern, and I'm going to take a break from that for a little while. I wrote an article for another magazine, Make Modern, so I'm very excited about more writing, and I'm finding that's what I like about this zine, is I wrote an article and then doing the letter from the editor, things like that. It's finding that it's kind of like all the skills that I have been able to practice has just been exciting. I'm really excited about all that. And I think part of the excitement comes from the changing of the seasons. It's cooler. I don't feel like I'm being drugged through the day with the heat. And it's just going to be a fun autumn. I ordered a sample of a coffee cup for the podcast with my logo on it. We'll see what it looks like. I'm also doing a video simulcast of this, so when I put it up on YouTube, you can watch me talking into my microphone. But I want to see what that coffee cup looks like before I start a big promotion on it, because if it looks terrible, then I'm going to have to revisit the whole swag thing with coffee cups. I'm thinking like coffee cup tote bag and like magnets or something would be a lot of fun, wouldn't it? So the excitement is building, and all of this excitement is leading to the update on the unexpected renovation of this old house. We have the roof done. The house has endured 50-mile-an-hour wind gusts and more rain, and so far the house has stayed watertight and no more trees have fallen on our property, which is very good. So today, the next level of purchasing and staging things for the bathroom remodel is that the fixtures, the tap, the sink, faucet, and the shower, handheld shower, and the shower head is being bought. We already have the sink and the vanity cabinet, and the flooring is on order. I've been looking at 1,000 paint chips and I haven't decided on one, but I want to get back to the store and look for a couple different greeny gray type of whites. The other thing is that leaves us with purchasing the tub, it's not tub, the shower surround, and we bought the laundry hamper we need, and I have my shower curtain and all of the fresh things for the bathroom when it's all done. The biggest thing we got to work on is cleaning out the closet that we are going to make our new laundry facility. And so far, I went through the closet this morning, and it's not as bad as I thought. There's some few things that need to get picked up and thrown away. I opened up the hat bin, and you're not going to believe this. I found hats, because I'm not a big hat person. A ski hat and a Detroit Tigers baseball hat from 1985. Yeah, I'm letting that sink in. I saved hats, leather gloves from the 80s, and I threw them away today. My sister was laughing. She goes, you probably could sell them online as vintage things. And I'm like, I don't even want to look at them anymore. They are old, and, I threw them away. I put them in a bag and threw them away. I found a baby hat that was my son's, that I saved. But things, old ratty gloves and scarves, and I have new stuff, I've made new stuff, and why do I keep all these things? I'm getting to a point where I'm just go ahead and let it go, release it to the garbage. They're not worth reselling. I don't want to go through the hassle of it, and I'll buy new stuff. I have resources in yarn. I can make new stuff, and oh my gosh, the new scarves and all the cool things out there. I've got tons of cowls that I've made that I need to wear more often. So I let it go, and it felt good, but yet I cried for a little bit because I saw the baby hat, but that's being saved. Everything else, purge. So that was the first level. I need to go through and throw away all the rest of the shoes in there. I have a couple pair that I don't wear. They need to go. And the rest of the things are, my husband has a lot of jackets, uniform jackets for his job in multiple age styles and seasons. So he's got to go through and throw that out. But that won't take long. That will go quickly. And then we wait for the contractor man to come. I am so excited about this renovation. I've waited for at least 15 years. We moved in this house about 18 years ago, and this bathroom needed updating then. The roof needed updating then. And this has turned out from being a disastrous thing with the leaking in the roof to being a wonderful thing. We were able to get it all worked out to where we can get the work done. Then we have to do a couple of things to button it up for the winter. Like, we all have those things. We got to put some dirt in the ground where the truck drove for the roofing and made a rut. I have to put some more stone and some erosion in the driveway and prepare for purchasing a snowblower because I'm feeling we're going to need it. It's going to be a lot of snow. So that's my update around the house. And I'm just really, really excited about all the things. And we're going to go out on a date tonight, and I'll talk about that more next time to see how it goes. We were given tickets to go to a casino, which we don't do very often, if ever, for entertainment. And I've had one other opportunity where we had free tickets, and it turned out to be really well. This is a comedy show. We'll see how it goes. But it'll be an interesting night to go out. It'll be a nice drive, and it's always good to spend time with my husband. He's really great. And it'll force me to slow down and stop and step away from all of the creating that I've been doing. And, you know, creating comes in like bursts for me. How about you? I mean, like this summer I kind of went through a little bit of a lull where I didn't do tons and tons of creating things. I was kind of wrapping up projects, and I have a couple of quilt works in projects in process. I have a couple of those, but the biggest thing is I just didn't feel highly motivated to crack on with new things or have a lot of inspiration. I maybe it was just being preoccupied with the wedding and a lot of traveling to festivals and stuff. But and don't want to say that I was in a slump, because I wasn't. I just wasn't in a point where I was getting a lot of creative inspiration. But I kept going, taking pictures, writing notes, pinning things on Pinterest. And now all of a sudden it feels like a flood of creativity has come upon me. And I've done most all of those things that I wanted to do. And now I'm going to move on to the next level. What I want to try next is macrame a bunting, because, you know, I love buntings. When I went to Scotland 4 years ago, they had buntings everywhere. Everywhere I went, bed and breakfast, museums, stores, they had bunting in the streets, across the streets. So I have a bunting in my sewing room and creative room. And I want to try a macrame bunting and maybe drape it along my curtains, or I don't know, put it in a doorway, archway, kind of be a boho chic vibe with a throwback to the 70s. How's that sound for a great idea? I just want to try it because square knots are easy to make as a basic knot. And then you could do a way cool bunting with a little bit of fringe and shag on it. And yeah, I've been digging the 70s vibe, let me tell you. So that's going to be something I've been thinking about how to make and how to cast it on and how big and chunky I want the yarn or cord. It's macrame cord that you buy. Or do I want it cotton? Do I want it poly? And I'm going to go with the cream white. And the dip dyeing was way fun, but I think I'm going to save that for a project for me on another type of thing. I gave away all the wall hanging, so I may try another wall hanging and do dip dyes in more of a teal or pink or something. Yeah, I'm going to have to check and see. Dyeing, dip dyeing is, the RIT dyes are hard to find in town. I did find some at Hobby Lobby in multiple colors, so I may try dip dyeing again, because I did that this summer and had a lot of fun. So what do you do when you find that you have more ideas than you have time, or the opposite of what do you do when you just don't have a lot of creativity going? I tend to go to those simple fidget things like knitting my shawl and taking pictures and working on patterns already designed or quilt-alongs. And that leads me to, if you would like to join a quilt-along, week 2 of the Border quilt-along I'm posting this week. It is a PBJ, Patterns by Jen. She has an online shop and a blog of the same name. And it's really a fun medallion style quilt. So I did the medallion center as a rectangle, and then we're doing checkerboard types of borders this time. And I've been doing all kinds of things with these Painter's Palette paint chip type of colors. All of their little 2.5-inch squares for the border. Oh, it looks really great with the Michael Miller bright fabrics I have, and I'm adding in some of the Michael Miller marbles in with it. It's going to be a rainbow of color, and it's turning out to be great with a little bit of grunge white in the background. So what do you do when you have that maybe not big creative spark, but you have energy and motivation to do stuff? I tend to sign up for free quilt-alongs. And this one you do have to buy the pattern, but there's lots of free patterns and quilt-alongs online too. And I would suggest looking at some of the ones that Pat Sloan has. She writes great patterns and they're free. You could buy this pattern by Jen. And the other thing I bought today that I want to see how it goes is I bought the downloadable pattern for the Woppet bag. Woppet. And it is the cutest little bag with a drawstring. So it's a 7-inch bucket that you can keep open, or you can draw it closed and carry a project in it. If it turns out well, I might make a lot of them for Christmas. But don't tell all my nieces. I don't think they listen to the podcast. But you can personalize the Woppet bag with 6-inch quilt blocks, and I have a plethora of them in my orphan drawer. And I think that is going to be a really fun project, and use up some of these scraps that I have that I really don't want to incorporate into any more quilts. This is not a quilted project. It uses interfacing, so it's strictly sewing. So I want to end the podcast there. Let me know, what do you do when you have too many ideas or if you don't have enough? Have a great week, and we will talk again next week. Have a great day. Quilt on, everyone.
You do it.